And last but not least, I would like to give you a template for the final assignment. Okay, so is to combine what we have learned, the classes, the functions, and Ginter together into one running application. Okay, so let's start from the beginning and explain through what all this mean. And you may want to make modification. Okay, so the same thing, you can go to my repository, Crimson Glory. Okay, and then uh, download the codes over here. Okay, so like say the standards, we will want to place all the import libraries at the very top. Okay, so think of what are the libraries that you may want to use. Of course, the standard ones like Ginter. Okay, um, because the clothes chooser is supposed to be, to display the clothes. Okay, so you may want to actually use the image TK from PIL. Okay, and of course, if you have the ppm files, then it's also good that you don't have to use this. Okay, so let's start with the class. So in this class, okay, we call this application. Of course, you can change this particular class name to any other things. Okay, to if it's easier for you. Okay, uh, okay, we will need to use the TK frame here. Okay, so this is just like a slice of the TK library lah. Okay, if you want to use it as a class, then we have to use this tk.frame. Okay, what it does is that we inherit this particular frame into making this as an application. Okay, and over here we are going to uh, put in all these variables. So these are all the variables that we may need. Okay, in this particular class. Okay, so you can put them. Best is that you can actually give them an initial value. Okay, since variables in Python, they are all dynamically typed. Okay, so you may just want to put this as empty string, or you can just put them as 0. But of course, if it's advanced data type like list, then it's best to put in an empty list. Okay, and if you need empty dictionary, you can just put in the curly brackets. Okay, tuples you are not able to, because tuples they are immutable. So immutable means that you can't change the value already. So we are stuck with using the list or using dictionary. Okay, the first part is that we need to create the actual frame, okay, or the application. Okay, so this is a special function called the constructor. Okay, so a constructor is the very first function, okay, that will be create or will be called when you use this class. Okay, so it is double underscore init, and then double underscore again. Okay, so it will have a very distinct color that change, okay, from the rest of the uh, other keywords and whatsoever lah. Okay, so usually it's self, and why we have a master here is because the actual uh, constructor from the tk.frame has the master as well. So we need to add this in. Okay, so we use a special function called a super. Okay, so a super is a special method that calls the tk frame constructor. So this is the constructor. Now the first line, I'm going to call my tk.frame constructor. Okay, then I will put my master in as well lah. Okay, then I try to put in all my stuff. Okay, so my master is the master. Okay, this so the master actually is the window lah. That's why we have the geometry and the size over here. We also have the title. So we change the title to a clothes chooser. So you can see at this portion, okay, we have the clothes chooser as well. Okay, we initialize all the variables, okay, the integer variables and string variables, okay, over here. So if there's any change to this, we'll update accordingly. Okay, then we will pack all the stuff, okay, and create the widgets. Okay, so this will call this particular function here lah. Basically, this is just creating all the widgets. Okay, so the radio male, radio female, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Okay, so you can see from the actual one, we only have the radio buttons and the button here. Okay, because we only pack this at first. Of course, you can place the labels at certain positions lah. Okay, I think this is easy enough. So for image, because our image is a list, okay, we are going to add them. So you can use the function append, okay, to put in more images if you require. Okay, so initial one, I will use the first image, which is this particular one. Okay. After that, you have another function. Okay, this function is to use, okay, or activated when the user click on the choose button over here. Okay, choose button. Okay, so they will get gender. Okay, so if the gender is 1, I will set the label to male. Gender 2, send to female. Okay, then I will choose whichever the image to show. Okay, why I minus 1 over here is because my list is 0 index. Okay, so 0 index, I have to start from 0. But my male and female, I have set the values to 1 and 2. Okay, to make it simple for you, you can also put in the value 0 and 1. Okay, so you don't have to do this particular statement at all. So you can straight away use the 0 and 1, and this will become 0 and 1 as well. Okay, so this it really depends on how you want to do it. Okay, just as long as you have communicated with your group and they understand what is happening and they are all agreed to it, then you can choose something that you want. You can even put it as like a string itself, like male and female. Okay, so instead of me comparing as 1 and 2, you have to compare like equals to male, equals to female, so and so forth. And so this it really depends on uh, how you want to do all these things lah. Okay, as long as it's communicated among the group members, I think it is a win. Okay, after that, I will actually set the images, then I will pack them. So I will pack them means that I will show it on the clothes chooser over here. Okay, so this is just the application. Actually, it doesn't run at all. Okay, so it's just a template. So when I need to use it, okay, so the same thing, I start creating the window. Okay, the window, then I create an application object. So to create an application object, I create an object here, app equals to application. So I'm using the class name, okay, class name, the application class name, and then the bracket, okay, because my constructor here accept one particular parameter. Okay, so I will place my window into my master. Okay, so this is like given. Okay, so it always it's always done in this manner. Okay, after I have created, so of course you can call this a variable, but a class, when you create something, you will call this an object. Okay, so it's easier to communicate for the advanced programmers who know what this actually is, because this is not the basic data type like your string integer. Okay, so you hover it, actually says this is an application. Okay, and this is a class. So when you create something out for class, we call this an object. Then you run the main loop. So this is the same as what we've always been doing. So they will run this. So basically, when I create this, I have access to all these functions, okay, in the class. Okay, for this particular app. Okay, so this acts like uh, the window as well. Okay, so I will use the main loop here. Okay, because essentially this is like the window, but I have added functionalities. So when I actually create this, okay, so when I create this object, the first, it will automatically run this particular function. Okay, because this is a constructor. Okay, the init is a constructor. It will auto do this. Okay, after once you create it. Okay, so this is the creation. Create object app. Okay, app. Okay. So we create an object app here of the class application. Okay, so once you create this particular part, okay, it will come here, find the constructor, and run all this code. Okay, so all this code is being run. Okay, they'll do this, do this, do this. Okay, then it will actually also call these functions called create widgets. So it will also do this all these lines as well. Okay, so actually it does the entire stretch. Okay, but choose is not being run. Okay, this choose is only run when you click on the choose button. Okay, once you click on this, okay, they will activate the command, which is the choose. So self dot choose. Okay, this refers to this particular function. So you can see that I didn't put a bracket, so it's just the name of the function. Okay, will do. So they will run this particular stretch of codes lah. Only when you have clicked the button. Okay, so then you will go into the main loop, which will run this particular line. So now we can choose between the male and female. Okay, so they will display the clothes. Okay, and of course some labels. Okay, of course you can add in more codes to this to make it more complex. So let's say you can add in things like um, based on the weather. So you can also attach the APIs into this. You can also let them place their names, choose their age, for example, make it more complex so that every time the user use, it may be a different clothes to wear. Okay, each time, okay, based on maybe the weather, maybe what they are feeling at the moment. Okay, so you can use this to build on top of your application. Okay, or you can copy parts of it to uh, make into your own uh, clothes chooser as well. Okay, so remember, if you need this, go to my Crimson Glory. Okay, download the repository. Okay, and then you will be able to uh, get all the codes over here. Okay, thank you.